Hey everyone, have you ever wondered about how to make your own podcast? Well, let me tell you about the app that I use called Anchor. It's a free app that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. As well, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So don't forget to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Live from JR2 Studios, you're listening to The Moneymaker Mindset, where knowledge is power. And we're back. Finally, we are back. Everyone, I'm so sorry it's been so long since the last recording. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for my family as we've been on a lot of vacations. So again, I just want to apologize for the delay in getting out more episodes. To start off with this episode, I just want to do a quick follow-up. How is everyone doing with their passive income ideas? If you remember on the last episode, I asked the audience to be thinking about some passive income ideas that they could start implementing in their life. So if you did that, props to you. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time. Typically for passive income, it requires a lot of resources, either in upfront time, upfront money, or both, depending on what you're putting your money towards or your time towards. So keep that in mind as you all think about your passive income ideas. Another thing, right before I get into today's topic for the episode is I just want to make a little announcement. My wife and I, we had a goal this year to get out of student debt right after I graduated, and we just did it. It was hard. I did not enjoy it all the way, but we did it. I graduated this spring. We had the goal when we got married to get out of student debt this year, and we can finally say that our student loans are paid off in full. Holy cow. Check that off the to-do list. If you're someone who's doubting whether they will ever pay off their student loans, I just want to give you some courage that it is possible, and that as you learn how to save, you will be able to pay off your student loans. I promise you that. All right, so for today's topic, we're going to be talking about the 3 ways to become a millionaire. Now, this topic has been talked about a couple of different times over different forms of media, but this is just something that I've learned within the past couple of months that I wanted to share with you, the listeners. And to start off, I just want to give you a couple of different stats of millionaires. So, and these stats are a little bit old, but they're still pretty relevant. In 2017, 700,000 people became millionaires, bringing the total to 11 million millionaires in the U.S. alone. Only 20% of all millionaires inherited their wealth, while the other 80% are self-made. Doesn't that just blow your mind a little bit? I know it blew mine when I heard those stats. In fact, it made me think, okay, if there were 700,000 people in 2017 that became millionaires alone in the U.S., then what do I need to do to get there? Because I know I can get there if other people are doing it, especially if 80% of those people are most likely self-made. So today we're just going to talk about 3 different types or ways of becoming a millionaire, and this is based off of the book, The Millionaire Fastlane. So 3 different types, according to the Millionaire Fastlane, or the 3 different ways to becoming a millionaire are these. Number 1, the slow lane. Number 2, the sidewalk. And number 3, the fast lane. So those are 3 different titles that he gives in the book. The first one we're going to talk about, which is the slow lane, which the slow lane is actually the get-rich-slow strategy. And the way that you do this is these are the people that they're told, okay, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and save, and then save some more. Now, typically, these people hope to be rich once they hit about 65 years old. And the best strategy for doing this is for people to work 9 to 5. As you can imagine, this is someone who would have a job, working every day, working as hard as they can, and saving and investing as best as they can with the extra money that they get. Now, the cons to this, this lane of becoming a millionaire is that, one, it will take a very long time to get to becoming a millionaire. As it says here, most of them hit about the age 65 before they become a millionaire. Another con of this way of becoming a millionaire is that you have to work for other people. You're not working for yourself, so you're going to be limited to the income that you can make based on your performance. If you don't perform well, sometimes even if you do perform well, maybe your boss won't give you a raise, or maybe you won't make as much as you think you're worth, because it's all based upon how the company that you work for, or the person that you work for, views you in value. Now, there are some pros to this lane or way of becoming a millionaire. The first pro is obviously it's very safe, secure, and it's more of a guarantee. And you'll notice that as we talk about the sidewalk lane. The sidewalk lane is where you get rich quick. You make $1 million and then you spend $1 million. These are people who typically make $1 million really fast or young in their life. This would normally be through like musicians, actors, athletes. So they make a lot up front, and then they get used to living a certain lifestyle. So they make a lot of money, and then they have this habit, or they create these habits of spending a lot of money equal to roughly to what they make. So they get used to living these really rich standards of life, and then once they retire, or once they have an injury, or whatever the case may be, when they're unable to do what they were doing before, they fall into debt. They're always about one step away from falling into debt or filing for bankruptcy because of this rich lifestyle that they live. And I do have some stats on that that'll back it up, what I just said. So there's a statistic out there that says NFL stats, 78% of players go broke/bankrupt after 2 years of retirement. There's an NBA stat that says 60% of players go bankrupt after 5 years of retirement. So as you can see, it really is just to live high-end lives during their careers, then they spend a lot. Once they retire, they live the same lifestyle and go broke because they haven't made that adjustment to realizing, oh, like I'm not making as much money anymore. I need to make an adjustment here in how I'm spending my money. They usually end up getting trapped because of their urgent need to fulfill their pleasures over what actually needs to be met first. And so that is why you will see a lot of famous people who will sometimes struggle in these situations because they get set in living this certain lifestyle. So as you can see from what we just talked about with the sidewalk, there's really not a lot of pros to it. You get to live rich early on in life, but then you spend so much to where you go broke once your money stream starts to slow down. So personally, I would try to not go for the sidewalk way for those reasons. It'd be a little tough. It'd be painful once you didn't have that income stream like you'd originally thought you had, and you're already living that rich lifestyle. So now we have reached the third and final way of becoming a millionaire, the fast lane. In this lane, people go out and provide value to other people. The reality of this lane is that everyone is a consumer. So why not provide something for others to consume? The purpose of any business is to provide value. Different companies provide different things. So as you can see, there's this trend. In the world, everyone is a consumer in extent. If you think about it, we all pay money to have rent. We all pay money for food. We all pay money to watch TV. And in this lane, the people or the millionaires in this lane, they come up with ways of how they can provide that value for other people to consume. So this would include a lot of passive income ideas I came up with the last episode. The biggest one here is, if you noticed early on, is that a lot of businesses fall into this category. One of the biggest pros to this category is that there's no limit to how much money you can make. Also, if you become like the head of the company, or you start your own company, then obviously you are the one who can determine how much you work to a certain extent, because you're setting your own schedule and everyone is kind of working around you at that point. Now, there are some cons to this lane as well. One of the cons is that you're going to spend a lot of time finding and creating something that will bring large amounts of value. You do not want to come up with a business idea that only provides value to, say, 50,000 people. In order to succeed in this lane, you really got to find something that will provide value to millions of people. So it's a 1,000,000-person problem, not a 1,000-person problem. The other con about this is that it is not the easiest to succeed in. In fact, it is the hardest lane or way to become a millionaire because it takes tons of effort, as previously mentioned, tons of research, tons of failure that could happen along the way. So just as we all know in life, in order to succeed, you have to take a big risk in order to get a big reward. So just as a review, I just want to remind you that there are different lanes you can pick to becoming a millionaire. And it's up to you. You get to decide which path you want to take. No one is telling you which lane you have to take. No one is forcing you. You have your own ability to choose what you're going to go for. So hopefully after listening to this episode today, you're able to see that people do become millionaires and you can be one of them. It's just up to what you decide what you want for your life. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.